Oh, man, I gotta tell y'all serious. No sound, no sound. Thank y'all for giving me the heads up. I'm just rapping my head off over here, man. God damn. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo. Hey, Marquise, thanks, man. P. New, appreciate you, fam. Appreciate you, man. Sorry about that, fam. So I guess we're going to have to rewind this and start it all over from the top. Y'all already know how this go. You know what I mean? Salute to the fam, man. Salute to the fam. Salute to everybody that catches this live. Salute to everybody that catches this on the playback, man. God damn, bro. The thing is, I was telling everybody that my computer's under construction right now. I'm having some upgrades done, so we're going to have to do this episode of We Talking Boxing Like This. You know what I'm saying? We back. All right, good, man. My fault, fam. Apologize for all that, man. Apologize. I didn't know that I'm doing this thing on a different software right now. But like I was trying to do, and I'll just pick up where I left off, you know what I'm saying? Pretty much like we know every show. Like I told y'all now, we're going to start off with a little bit of boxing history. So today, September 27th, 1980, today marks the day that started the title reign of Marvelous Marvin Hagler. Yes, sir. September 27th, 1980, Marvelous Marvin Hagler began his reign as the undisputed middleweight boxing champion of the world. Started at London's Wembley Arena in front of a beer-fueled, raucous crowd that turned violent. They had to rush Marvin Hagler out of that arena with a police escort, fight fam. A police escort. But it turns out that Marvin Hagler stopped Alan Minter in the third round to win the middleweight championship title. For the next 7 years, he will rule as one of boxing's most durable chins, would defend his belt 12 times against renowned fighters such as Roberto Duran, Thomas the Hitman Hearns, eventually losing to Sugar Ray Leonard in a controversial split decision. But that title reign all started on September 27th of 1980, which is today, fam. Today. So I tell y'all, man, today is the day Marvin Marvelous Hagler pretty much was born to us boxing fans. You know what I mean? But yo, man, we got a good show in packed today. It's going to be a real compact show given the time restraints. I'm on like super late. I'm usually not on this late. You know what I'm saying? It's like going on 10 o'clock here on the East Coast. Yo, man, if anybody who caught that Cowboys game earlier, man, I'm hurting them behind that joint, man. I'm hurting behind that joint, man. Come on, man. What the hell kind of play calling were we doing down the stretch? But anyway. We're going to get right into this, man. We got a lot of talk to do. We're going to cover these Charlos, man. We got to give these boys their respect the proper way. And most importantly, we're going to look and see what could be possibly next, really, for these boys. Now, we talked about this last night in the post-fight review, but we're going to now do this a little bit more clear-headed and actually with the information right here in front of us. So before we get to those Charlos, though, I want to talk about this Gary Russell thing real quick, real brief. Now, I did a video talking about the Gary Russell Jr. situation. Will McLaddy in the building. What's up, fam? What's up with you? And we know that Gary Russell Jr. now has sent out what's called a new term sheet to the Devin Haney camp. According to the recent video released by Gary Russell Jr., the Haneys have until October to make an announcement of whether or not they accept. And according to Gary Russell Jr., he was sending that term sheet on over to them to get back to them as soon as possible. According to the actual writing of the term sheet, once I got a chance to zoom in on it when he put it in front of the TV, in front of the screen, it says that basically they have to have a fight no later than January 30th. Now, people may be wondering what's the deal with the January 30th and what's the deal with Gary Russell Jr. still holding on to his 126-pound title, because Gary Russell told everybody that he has to have an answer by a certain time because he still has to go down and defend his title. Now, like I was trying to tell folks in the video that I did about this, you got to remember, man, Gary Russell Jr. is not putting all of his eggs in one basket. Of course, he still holds the title down at 126 pounds. He should hold the title down at 126 pounds because, he's the WBC champion, and you just really don't know what the WBC is going to do. They got silver belts, they got gold belts, they got weed belts, you know what I'm saying? So you don't know which belt you technically got to win in order to be deemed the mandatory. Just because you beat the guy that's deemed the mandatory doesn't mean you become the mandatory, a.k.a. Dillian White, you know what I'm saying? And Alexander Povetkin. You do not see Alexander Povetkin deemed the mandatory today just because he beat Dillian White. You didn't see the WBC giving Alexander Povetkin Dillian White's date. You just didn't see it. So it's no guarantee that Gary Russell Jr. will become the mandatory, even if he beats, say, a Javier Fortuna. Now, I'm thinking that, and my train of thought, the way I'm listening to this information now, is it seems as if that Gary was willing to forego the Javier Fortuna fight, because if he got to have an answer by October, and he's saying that the network has date issues, I mean, clearly he told us he was going to face Javier Fortuna in December. He ain't going to fight in December, then turn around and fight in January or February. No, that ain't what he going to do. So it seems to me either he's moving that out the way and saying, hey, accept this and we'll just get a new date. And we'll do it sometime, right before my title, my mandatory is due, which is next February from what I understand. So he's probably saying, look, this is the sure way that I know that I'll get a shot at the WBC belt. It doesn't make sense to vacate my WBC belt at 126 because he can still be ranked at 135 and champion at 126. It doesn't make any sense to abandon that belt. You know what I'm saying? Put all my eggs in one basket. Hope that the WBC says, okay, now that you didn't beat the mandatory guy, yeah, you we'll give you a shot. They can make Gary Russell Jr. wait up to a year. You know what I'm saying? Look at Dillian White. They can say, well, no, we're not ordering you as the mandatory for Haney yet. You may have to beat one more person. You just don't know. So you can't put all of your eggs in one basket. You know what I'm saying? You have to say, well, look, I got to keep myself marketable. Of course, this belt keeps me marketable. It keeps me getting the majority, the lion's share of the purse. It keeps me, it's the one thing that's working for me. Why would I just give that up for a hope and a prayer from crooks? You know what I mean? You already know that the other side of crooks. They've been trying to sign you. They try to put options on you and everything under the sun. They crooks. So why would I give up everything that's important to me, this WBC title, for the word of crooks? It don't make no sense. You know what I mean? So, of course, January 30th is the date, because I'm sure the WBC will come along and say, hey, man, you got to start negotiating with your mandatory or either vacate that belt. You know what I mean? So he got to get a crystal clear answer and know that this fight has got to happen before a certain time. You know what I mean? Or else I got to go and take care of this mandatory. Now, I could take your belt. I could take your belt at 135. And guess what? I ain't got to worry about my belt at 126. So if me and you were straight up and we going to fight for your belt, then I ain't worrying about that mandatory. But until you 100 and stop playing with these smoke and mirror games, guess what? No, I'm not going to. It doesn't make any sense for Gary Russell Jr. at 33 years old to release his world title, the one thing that brings in he gets the lion's share of the pay, give up his world title for a hope and a prayer from crook. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. Marquis says the time is ticking, man. Gary is getting older. Exactly. So if he's getting older, why would he wants to give up the one thing that he knows he can bring home a decent payday doing? These dudes at 35, he don't know what's going to happen. But what he can do is fight at 135, be ranked at 135, and still be champion at 126. Shakur Stevenson done it. You pretty much, once you come up to that mandatory date, that's when the rubber got to meet the road. That's when you really got to make that decision of saying, you know what, I got to give up this belt. But until then, he weighing options. I'm not giving up my belt for nothing. You know what I mean? So a lot of people was running around like, oh, he ducking because he don't want to leave 126. And why is he going back to 20? Because it makes sense. It makes sense. These dudes don't really want to fight. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm glad that Gary finally took A side. I'm glad that he finally now is thinking of himself as the A side. You should have been sending the offers, in my opinion. You already was the A-side, homeboy. I get it. DAZN had the bag. DAZN was throwing around money. But technically, we all knew it as boxing fans, man. Come on, keep it 100. We all knew that Gary was the A-side. He should have took this position from the beginning. Okay, young pup, you want that work? We'll have you on over here. Call this bluff from the jump. We'll have you on. Come on over here to Showtime, and we'll make this happen. We'll pay you your 1 point whatever, and come on over here. Let's make it happen over here. And then you would have got to the answer that you seek a lot faster, because it would have got to, we can't really go over there. And it would have been right there. That would have ended it right there. That's all he had to do from the jump. You know what I mean? I thought, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. Capadonna 24 in the building. What's up, man? What's going on, man? So, it seems to me that Gary Russell was saying, look, everything is straight now in the term sheet. The 1.5, I got a chance to kind of, like I said, zoom in on it. And I got a chance to kind of read it. And the 1.5 is definitely in there. It's letting it be known that, all of everything that Gary Russell Jr. is going to do as far as promoting the fight and everything like that, he'll live up to his obligations. It's a straight up and down, no smoke and mirrors type thing, sent on over. Now, we ain't heard nothing ever since. All I hear now is they going towards Gamboa. This is why I said from the jump, this is all they had to do. This is all they had to do. This is all they had to do. So I'm glad to know that he's taking the A-side treatment now. He's finally straightened all this madness out and say, look, forget all the noise. This is what it is. This is the term. Either you accept, the clock is ticking. If you don't accept by this time, then guess what? I'm going about my merry way, and I'll see you if I become the mandatory. That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is. Marquis says it sucks to be a Washington football team. Yeah, bro. Them Skins, man. Stinking up the whole city, champ. Stinking up the whole city, man. They need a quarterback, man. They need a quarterback, man. But it is what it is. I'm glad, like I said before, I'm glad that Gary Russell Jr. is taking this position. And I hope eventually, once smoke's all clears and everything like that, hopefully these two still get a fight on. And it's going to be a good fight if it ever goes down. You know what I'm saying? Real spill. So, moving right along. Now, let's get to these Charlos, man. Let's get to these Charlos. Let's talk about these Charlos. Now, of course, I want to talk about Jamel first. Now, like I told folks last night, I do definitely believe Jamel Charlo should be in the pound-for-pound discussion. Anybody who wants to talk against that, I don't know how you call yourself a boxing fan. I mean, you don't have to put him in the top 5 if you don't want, but top 10, we should be having that conversation. Jamel Charlo is definitely in the top 10 of the pound-for-pound rankings. I don't care what affiliation, if you're The Ring, if you're ESPN, if you're Boxing Scene, if you're Box Rec, Jamel Charlo should be in your top 10 pound-for-pound list. Easy, you know what I mean? Now, what Jamel has been doing, like I say, it's been nothing short of great, you know what I mean? The only thing is I cannot put Jamel Charlo over anyone that's moved up in weight and became a champion. That's the only line that I can say outside of stylistically and outside of his level of competition that he's beaten and his accomplishments and everything that you all roll up in to make your pound for pound argument. He's checked most of those boxes. The only box that he hasn't checked is the fact that he's just been at the same weight class. So y'all know how I view my pound for pound. You got to show this while moving up in weight. So I cannot put him above anyone that's been showing their skill set translating up to higher weights and being successful. You know what I'm saying? Silver Salamo, what's up, man? What's up with you, man? What's up with you? Marquis says, I believe that Charlo will be hurt. That's a good, still a good fight, bro. That's still a good fight. And we're going to get there because that's the one question that I have as I'm looking at the boxing rankings right here in front of me. Where should Jamel Charlo go? Let's start with little Charlo first. Where should Jamel Charlo go? Now, I'm looking at these rankings, and word is that the IBF may call the mandatory first. Now that Jamel Charlo is holding 3 belts, the IBF may call the mandatory first. This guy in the number 1 position, I never heard of him. His name is Bakram Musalev. You know what I'm saying? Bakram Musalev. You know what I mean? Yeah, we all want to see Charlo versus Musalev. You know what I mean? That's the number 1 guy in the IBF. Never heard of him. You know what I'm saying? Of course, in the WBO, we got Patrick Teixeira having that last remaining belt. And the number 1 contenders in the WBC, Erickson Lubin. And in the WBA, Arislandi Lara. So, out of all of those names, where would you rather see Charlo go? Should it be back to Lubin? Should it be Arislandi Lara, something brand new, something that we haven't seen, fam? Hit that thumbs up for the homie. Coach Kennedy in the building. What's up, family? What's up with you? I mean, we've always wanted to see the Lara fight. Lara is the WBA regular champion. We know how the WBA plays, where given that Charlo is the super champion, he technically doesn't have a mandatory in the WBA. It's whenever they deem for him to fit for him to have a mandatory. So Arislandi Lara may or may not be ordered. Arislandi Lara is not the same Lara. I wanted to see the Lara fight when he was Lara. You know what I'm saying? When he was that moving, pop, 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 constantly resetting you, making you come over here, making you go over there, making you meet him over here. That Lara, I wanted to see that Lara versus Charlo. But given Lara is still Lara, you know what I'm saying? Lara is still Lara. I mean, he's still stopping Bama's. I mean, still dropping Bama's. I don't know if that's first. All right, hear me here, fam. Hear me here. And I hope y'all, I don't know if y'all see why. I want to see Harrison first. I don't see anything on here that I want to see over Harrison. I want to see Harrison. I know y'all might say, nah, man, he been there, done that. But they 1-1, fam. They 1-1. Bruh, how are we not making... Because I noticed, like, every time we ask this question, we get the Herds, we get the Lauras, and some of us, we even got, like, last night we was getting a lot of Lubin. Nobody is talking about Harrison. Like, why shouldn't Charlo have to break the tie? Is he that good? I mean, does most people say, hey, well, he won the first fight? In my eyes, man, he definitely won the second fight because he stopped Harrison. But do y'all think, is it like one of those things where in the first fight you technically saw Charlo win, so you don't really need to see it again? Marquis says, I don't want to see Harrison 3. But it's a tie, though, bro. Like, they gotta... You can't just walk away from the table at 1-1. You know what I mean? I mean, look, if he want to go, if y'all feel like he'll stop Harrison or whatever the case may be, cool. You know what I mean? But no boxing rivalry sits well with me being left at 1-1. It just don't sit well with me. You know what I mean? It's like the Canelo and Triple G thing, right? Everybody pressing for it because it don't sit well with them what the results is. The Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder thing. We all are still hungering for that third fight because we don't feel like that book is written yet. It ain't finished. We can't leave unfinished business around these boxing streets, man. I mean, is this not unfinished business? Don't get me wrong. Even me here, I said that I thought Charlo pulled out the first fight. I thought he won it, but they gave it to Harrison. Second fight, Charlo made a defense. Even though I felt Charlo won the first fight, I still would not mind seeing them to finish that off. I still wouldn't mind seeing them finish that off. Harold Trim says, man, Mel should take the touch, the IBF mandatory. He deserves it. And if he wants to go there shouldn't be not one, I repeat, one boxing fan, not one critic saying nothing. If Jermell Charlo wants to go and fight Bakram Mutsaliv, you know what I'm saying? Take in mind, nobody can say a word. He can do what the hell he want. He the king. He the king around here. You know what I'm saying? So he the king around here. He can do whatever the hell he want. I've never, in all of my time of covering the sport of boxing here on YouTube, I have never said that about Jermell Charlo. The man can do anything he wants, and I'm happy with it. I won't complain. He can go and fight Bakram Mutsaliv. He can go fight Jack Kulke. He can fight anybody he wants. Tim Tszyu, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, if I had a wish list, I think Tony Harrison would be number one. Now, let's look at the other rankings. So in the IBF, he has Bakram Mutsaliv, right? In the WBO, of course, Patrick Teixeira and Brian Castano got to figure that out. And, of course, Jermell Charlo, I think he will welcome that with open arms. You know what I'm saying? If no politics doesn't impede on stopping that, on shutting that down. WBC, Erickson Lubin. Also, I remember also hearing, if I'm not mistaken, Julian J. Rock Williams say after his last fight, I think he said that he gets the winner. He was supposed to be in line to get the winner. I don't know how or who he's been talking to, but Julian J. Rock Williams in a recent interview with PBC said that he was supposed to get the winner of the Charlo Rosario fight as well. But as far as the rankings are concerned, I don't know how they will fall unless Charlo's going to choose J. Rock as a voluntary. But I don't see that happening no time soon. But as for Erickson Lubin, he's in the number one spot. Now, we talked about this last night. That's a good fight. Erickson Lubin's been on a winning streak. He's gotten some good names. He's beaten Terrell Gaucher. He's beaten Nathaniel Gallimore. He's retired Ishe Smith. He's actually gotten some good names. And people may say, well, man, I don't know if Erickson Lubin's ready. I don't know if he's quite ready. But if there's any time to strike while the iron is hot, bro, I would think it's now. The man Charlo has 3 belts. Yo, win, lose, or draw. This is the time that you make your swing. And so Erickson Lubin, I don't see him backing down, but I don't know how much of an appetite for that fight that the fans got. And that may be something. Everything Boxing, the homie Keon in the building. What's up, fam? What's up with you, man? Everybody to hear the sound of my voice, go check out Everything Boxing and Sports. That's the homie right there, man. My man be breaking it down, Slim. I'm telling y'all, man. Much love to the homie, man. Much love to the homie. Yeah, man. Harold Trim says, yo, man, if Mel chooses Laura, doesn't that cause a problem for Maul? I mean, look, man, I wouldn't think it would cause a problem. I get it, the stablemate thing. I wouldn't think it would cause a problem if these two are more respectful, not like when Jamil was going off back in the day and he was saying stuff like, I'd beat everybody in Ronnie Shields' gym and blah, blah, blah. Like, I mean, as long as these two, I think, are cordial and respectful towards one another, I don't think Maul would have a problem with it. You know what I mean? I mean, look, they're still homies. They still getting paid. You know what I mean? They're getting big money to make a big fight. This can possibly, I'm not saying 100, possibly be maybe even a pay-per-view fight for Erslandy Laura. So, if anything, he hooking Erslandy Laura up. I would hope that Jamal wouldn't have a problem with that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't think so. Plus, on top of that, Erslandy Laura is well out here telling everybody that he's down to face Jamil Charlo. He wants the Jamil Charlo fight. I mean, I believe that he took the W. Look, he's in right up under the Jamil Charlo. So, he's well on record saying he's down for that fight. The only problem is that people going to say, this ain't the same Laura. First thing that everybody going to be, oh, man, he's too old and he ain't the same and Charlo beat him at this time and this, that, and it's loaded with excuses, you know what I mean? But a lot of y'all are saying Laura. Y'all want to see Laura on the map first, man. I don't know. For me, it's Tony Harrison. Then maybe Erickson Lubin. If we don't get Tony Harrison first, maybe the Lubin fight. Maybe I wouldn't mind seeing the Lubin rematch because, like I told y'all, as I've been covering Erickson Lubin, I really feel like he's been getting better. I really feel like he's much better than that guy that Charlo fought a few years back. He's been grinding. He earned his place back, unlike, say, like Gennady Golovkin losing to Canelo Alvarez and then, or whatever, barely beating Canelo Alvarez and doing absolutely nothing in the meantime, between time, to try to make the third fight big. No, it's not like that. Erickson Lubin went back into the grinder. He went back into the grinder and went into the smoke, man. And I thoroughly believe that Erickson Lubin is a different level of fighter this time around. And I think it'll be a good fight. I think what we saw last night from Jamil Charlo, him becoming the Ronnie Shields version, him being the boxer version of Jamil Charlo, that versus an Erickson Lubin, even though I don't know if he'll fight in that same manner, but it'll be an interesting chess match, man. That is the perfect pace that Erickson Lubin like to fight at. Though I don't see Mel staying at that pace for Lubin. I see him trying to steamroll Erickson Lubin. But at the end of the day, if he goes to that boxing style, bro, it'll be an interesting ass fight. La La D in the building. What's up, La La? We back at it again. You already know, fam. What's up with you? Hope you cooling out there, man. Hope everybody having a good Sunday evening. You know what I'm saying? Real spill. But first on my on Jamil Charlo's get back list for me would be Tony Harrison, because I want to see them finish their unfinished business. If he don't want to go there, I like the Erickson Lubin fight for him next. And Jamil may even say, man, like, what am I getting from an Erickson Lubin fight? And I knocked him out in the first round and da-da-da-da. But I just think that Lubin has gotten better, man. If Lubin Chen can hold up, he a real problem all day. That's the one question, Everything Boxing. That's the one thing. Can Erickson Lubin Chen hold up? We seen Gaucher put him on some shaky legs in their fight, man. So don't know, man. And that boy, man, Charlo just looking so complete right now, man. So complete. But yeah, man, that'll be my second one. Wanted to see fight for Jamil Charlo. And then of course, if none of those work out, of course, then I'd like to see Erslandy Laura. And I know people may say, well, why are you making Laura third? Because I just don't think he's the same. You know what I'm saying? Renee, what's up, man? Renee Box Young in the building. What's up, family? Salute to Mexico. I'm a fan of Laura. Y'all know I like Erslandy Laura. I really do. But I just think on a competitive level today, I think Jamil Charlo destroys Erslandy Laura. I think he utterly destroys Erslandy Laura right now. Laura's still a good fighter, but not nearly as mobile as he used to be. He likes these phone booth fights. Jamil Charlo right now, in my opinion, destroys Erslandy Laura. So I put Erslandy Laura about third. And if we can't get none of those to crack on, my first one will be Tony Harrison, then Erickson Lubin, then Erslandy Laura third. If we can't get none of those from all at 154, And I know y'all may not. My fourth one, you know what? I got to reorder one name. Let's move Errol Sunday Lord down to number 4. I got to put Jarrett Hurd third. I like to see the Hurd fight by round third. And the reason I put Hurd in the third spot is because I'm not sure that Hurd is ready today. And this is coming from a major Hurd fan. Y'all already know. I'm not 100 that Jarrett Hurd is ready. I mean, him and K. Koroma are still filling things out. He's still trying to, learn new things and add new things to his style. I just think he's still a work in progress right now. And I don't want to see a work in progress version of Jarrett Hurd get in there with Jermell Charlo. Now, if Hurd got in there today with Jermell Charlo, fam, he will resort back to the old typical Jarrett Hurd. He will become the Michael Myers of boxing. He's going to stand right there in front of Charlo. He's going to take a licking and keep on ticking. Do we want to see that version of Hurd in there with Charlo? Because that's what we're going to get. I don't want to see him getting in there trying new things, like he did in this last fight when he was trying to work behind the jab. It didn't come natural to him. It didn't come automatic to him. So he's still learning. You know what I mean? And I don't want a learning version of Jarrett Hurd in there with a complete Jermell Charlo right now. A totally complete Jermell Charlo. General Long says, Lala D says, I love Laura, but I'd pick Mel. I pick Mel all day. I pick Mel all day. Renee Box Young says that Laura will get smashed by Mel all day. All day. He cannot be that stationary version of himself and standing there with the Jermell Charlo. I just don't see it, fam. What about J-Rock? J-Rock. Okay. I throw J-Rock in the fourth. I'm pushing Laura down further and further. I put J-Rock in about the fourth slot. And the reason being is because A, I want to see J-Rock get his confidence totally back. And B, I need to get it. He's got to get back into the big win column. I mean, after he took that beat down from Rosario, it's too fresh on people's minds right now. I mean, I don't know if it's a big enough fight for what does it offer Jermell Charlo, if anything. You know what I mean? It does bring nothing to the table for Jermell. And I just don't think it brings much with the J-Rock fight. I think he just got to get some more momentum going right now. You know what I mean? But I still want, maybe from a competitive standpoint, I'd still think that J-Rock would do better than Erislandy Lord. I just think that Erislandy Lord is the last man standing because he just doesn't move no more, bro. And you can't be that way against Charlo. And I just don't see, after about the fourth round, I just see Charlo just piecing up Erislandy Lord like nobody's business. So I got to push him down. So my order of things, let's go first, Tony Harrison. Second, Erickson Lubin. Third, Jared Swift Hurd. Fourth, Julian J. Rock Williams. And fifth, Erislandy Lord. I hope that is the order. And then, I believe it or not, after Erislandy Lord, wouldn't mind seeing a Tim Tszyu fight. I know people may say, come on, man. He going to destroy Tim Tszyu. Maybe so. But what Jermell Charlo would get from destroying a man with a country behind him, what does that do? You know what I'm saying? So throw Tim Tszyu on the list too, because guess what? He got the Australian people down there riding for him, champ. They love Tim Tszyu down there, man. You know what I mean? So just for the notoriety of it and just for the whole exposure, maybe throw in the Tim Tszyu after Erislandy Lord. But I think that is the order. I like that order for me for Jermell Charlo. You know what I'm saying? But Bud was saying that he wanted that work. Bud better stay down at 147, man. Bud don't want that work right now, champ. Lubin and Texera is all that's left right now of them next. Lubin and Texera. Yeah, Texera got his hands full right now, man. I've been looking up this Castano guy, man. He ain't no slouch. He ain't no slouch at all. So we don't know who's going to emerge from that situation, bro. There's a good chance that Castano can upset Texera, man. And maybe not, because Texera is a war-torn dude himself. I got a lot of respect for Patrick Texera. I've been looking up a lot of his fights, especially around the time when Terrence Crawford was calling him out. I was really digging into Patrick Texera and wanting to, not calling him out, but when we were talking about maybe that fight happening, I started to do my research heavy on Texera, man, and I like him. Not the most strongest puncher, but he's a good fighter. He's willing to go above and beyond. He digs deep, and he's a good fighter, man. Tall, long. He's a good fighter. And that's why I knew if Terrence Crawford would have went up there and fought Texera, bro, that would have been more than worthy of keeping him as number one pound for pound. Now, I'm going to float the idea around. And tell me if I'm going wrong here, fam. Tell me if I'm going wrong. If none of those fights in whatever world don't make sense to Jermell Charlo, and he comes out tomorrow and he says, you know what? I've been at 54 my whole career. It's time for me to move up. Everybody like, no, man. His brother's up there. These two have operated in the same weight class before. That ain't nothing new. Now, let's just say, right, that Jermell Charlo says, I'm going to 60. The WBO, well on record, telling everybody that if you are a champion in a lower weight class and you decide to move up, you're deemed as a WBO super champion, you move up, you automatically get a shot at the title. Well, what stops Jermell Charlo from saying, I'm going up to 160 and I'm challenging the WBO champion, Demetrius Andrade, or number one, Jaime Munguia? Jaime Munguia ran from Jermell Charlo at 154. He wanted nothing to do with Jermell Charlo at 154. But what stops Jermell Charlo from basically inputting himself right in the middle of that situation? What stops it? And challenging Demetrius Andrade if he wanted to. What stops it? Other than even politics to a certain extent can't stop it. Because the WBO will have to order that fight. And both sides will have to come together or Demetrius Andrade will be stripped. I'm just saying. Is that too far? Is that too... People are like, yeah, no, Maul is there. Maul in the WBC. Jermell got 3 belts. He can enter any sanctioning body he wants. If he wants to go up and challenge Gennady Golovkin right now, he maybe can do that. If he wanted... That's the good thing about having all of those titles. When you do decide to move up, you putting yourself right underneath these champions at higher weight classes. So if he wanted to, he can do that. Who else he talking about? Of course, Canelo is the ultimate protected fighter, so Canelo can't do it. And Canelo also has the WBA Super Championship. They won't order that fight neither. But he can go up and challenge Ryoto Murata. He can do that too. The world is Jermell Charlo's playground right now. That's the beauty of being king. That's the beauty of being on the throne with all of the belts. I got options. I can do anything I want. I can sit here and have a couple rematches or fight these dudes or go up to 160, set the world on fire, and put myself right in the middle of all of these situations. Y'all better understand something, bro. Y'all talking about Jermell Charlo. We talking about Jermell. Don't think he won't do this. I can see it. And y'all keep calling his brother Big Charlo. He going to want to be up there with Big Charlo. Y'all ain't going to keep calling him Little Charlo. He going to step right up in that weight class and go right for a belt. Man, I love that, bro. That'll be lit. But, you know, that'll be lit, bro. Nah, dude who was in the witness protection, a.k.a. the zone. True talk. He ain't, but see, guess what? He will have to vacate. He will have to vacate. It's just like what Sean Porter did with Terrence Crawford. Sean Porter's number one in the... They put Sean Porter number one in the WBO, right? Eventually, that man though gonna have to get called. Don't matter about no size of the streets unless one guy's pulling out of the rankings. Now, in this case, Andrade is the champion. He will have to let the belt go. I don't see that happening. That's if that's what he wanted. And take in mind, Andrade was supposed to fight Jermell back in the day until he pulled out and ran on over there to HBO. Remember? Oh, so what? Demetrius Andrade gonna back out twice against Jermell Charlo? He gonna do it twice? That would be something to see. If that is the case, the man Demetrius Andrade's name will be mud. Mel pulls up on his bumper. I'm right here, number one. I don't think Jaime Munguia is pursuing Demetrius. I just don't see him pursuing Demetrius Andrade. But pull right up on his bumper. That'll be something to see, man. I can see it happen. Andrade would take that fight. Trust. I hear that, Lala. I hope he do. Because he didn't take it back in the day. You know what I'm saying? He decided to run on over there to Rock Nation and HBO and to take easier fights for more money. That's according to the court papers. So, I mean, I hope you're right. He pulled out on Mel once before. I would see no reason for him to do it in this time around. And only thing is also because, you know, as much as we rag on DAZN, there's also a worry sometimes from the PBC side that they can lose these things too. And it wouldn't be nothing more worse for PBC than to have Jamel Charlo fighting on DAZN. You know what I mean? Because if it came down to a purse bid, it's going to be some money that's going to have to hit the wood. You know what I mean? And whoever winning that bid is going to win those terms. And whoever win those terms is going to have it on their network. PBC sometimes don't like to go head-to-head with DAZN or Eddie Hearn on certain issues, man. That's something that don't get talked about a lot. You know what I mean? Andre called them out a million times after that. People forgot. Yeah, you know, but Andre has a bad habit of calling people out from safe spaces. And I know you're an Andre fan, so I ain't going to go in too much on him. But he got a bad habit of calling people out from safe spaces. You know what I mean? He waits till he signed a DAZN deal and then hide behind everybody, and now he wants to fight everybody. He's over there. Prior to Gennady Golovkin signing with DAZN, the number one voice in the wilderness was Demetrius Andrade. They were using him basically as the front man to bring Gennady Golovkin to DAZN. And once Gennady Golovkin signed that paper, well, we got nowhere near Demetrius Andrade and Gennady Golovkin. You know what I mean? So I just don't know with Demetrius sometimes. It just seems to me that I get it. You could be a duck fighter, but this is getting taken to the extreme. I mean, nobody don't want to fight him. People on his side, people on the other side. And I can't believe that it's everybody and it has nothing to do with Andre. You know what I mean? It's especially when I know his track record from the past. Like, I know he's pulled out of fights to run over for bigger money and got screwed and everything like that. I mean, I know he's willing to do these things. So it's like, as much as, because I used to be the same way, you know, Lala. I used to be like, yo, somebody need to face Demetrius Andrade. Somebody need to face Demetrius Andrade. But it can't be everybody but Andrade. I mean, I get it. The Billy Joe Saunders, he wanted to turn into Superman. I get Billy Joe Saunders' situation, but I just don't get it why nobody, Canelo, Golovkin, Daniel they friend him and Daniel Jacobs are friends, right? I mean, nobody, no Callum Smiths, no Liam Callum Smiths, nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, Demetrius Andrade has been fighting. I forgot who he even fought in his last fight. I forgot who he even fought, bro. I'm being honest with you. So that's why I say I like Demetrius, and I know he's a sharp fighter, real sharp fighter. It's just that every time that when it comes to him, I don't trust him. I'm worried of him because for some odd reason, it's always never Demetrius Andrade fault. No one wants to never fight. This happened at 54 and 60. You know what I mean? And it's just, I don't know. It just lets you down. You know what I'm saying? It lets you down. Drake's finest in the building. Salute, fam. Bam. What's up, man? What's up? If Andre pulled out, he is finished in boxing. Absolutely. 100. His name will be mud at that point. And that's why I think that, that would be a straight up G check. If Mel says, you know what, I did all I got to do here at 54, which nobody will blame him for. I did all I got to do here. It's time for me to move up. I'm going up. You know what I mean? And put itself right there under Demetrius Andrade. That'd be a G check if I ever seen one. What about Canelo? He called Andrade born. In other words, I don't want it. Well, we know Canelo is Canelo. He is the special Canelo. He stands in his own category that he doesn't enter general population. He comes in through the side door. He gets the special treatment. You know what I'm saying? Now, I've always said that Andrade was the Canelo killer. I've always said that. And I still believe that. I think stylistically, Andrade gives Canelo major, major, major problems. You know what I mean? And Canelo knows that. Andrade is long. Andrade is mobile. Andrade has a good jab, good boxing fundamentals. I think that Andrade is Canelo's worst nightmare. And I put, honestly, that above even a Charlo. And I know people may say, what? No, seriously. I will put Andrade's chances against Canelo above Jamal Charlo's. Because stylistically, these are two different fighters. You know what I mean? Jamal Charlo, even what we saw against Sergey Deryevchenko, whenever he found the way to the inside, he was the faster man on the inside, and he did very good to the body. I think that's where Canelo will be golden. And I think that's one of the things that Jamal Charlo will have to deal with Canelo. That is Canelo getting up under his jab and getting to the inside. And Canelo will be much, much more of a problem than Sergey Deryevchenko. And I don't think that Andre will allow Canelo to do that because he'll be mobile. He'll be too mobile. He'll be moving too much. You know what I'm saying? Stormy B-Man in the building. My brother, Stormy B-Man. Salute to the homie Stormy B-Man. All day, man. Of course he gives Canelo problems. Canelo knows better. Yeah, Canelo knows better, man. But I wouldn't mind seeing Jamel move up to 50, to 160 and inputting himself into that WBO situation. This is the same way we just seen Oleksandr Usyk. Oleksandr Usyk just left cruiserweight as the cruiserweight WBO champion. Move right on up. What is he today? The WBO mandatory, right? Right there underneath Anthony Joshua. Well, Jamel Charlo can do the exact same thing, and I would not be mad. I mean, look at Gennady Golovkin. He don't even got nobody in the number 1 or number 2 slots underneath him. If Jamel Charlo moved up and put himself right there, what Golovkin gonna do? Vacate a belt again like he did in the Sergey Deryevchenko first time around? What are he gonna do? Remember that first time he had to defend that belt? What does he do? He dropped that belt. So what, Golovkin gonna drop this belt? Make it happen. Make it happen. These Charlo boys, man, they want to take over the sport. Let's see it. Now, let's talk about Big Charlo. Big Charlo, 160 Charlo. Great performance from him last night as well. I was impressed with his performance also. Both men clearly, man, both brothers was clearly working on their jabs, man, heavy. I don't know if they was in coordination with that, but both brothers jabs looked solid last night, man. Both of them kind of won their fights with the jab. But looking at 160, man, all right. Now, we kind of covered this last night. We know pretty much the number one thing that Jamal Charlo is going to go towards is Chris Eubank Jr. Now, how many of us think that Chris Eubank Jr. has any sort of chance against Jamal Charlo? Oh, man, the OG is in the building. Salute to the fam. Bam. KQKC is in the building, my main man. What's up, homie? Man, salute my brother. Keep up the grind. Thank you, KQKC. And same to you, my brother. Salute to Chi-Town, man. All day. That's fam right there. Y'all show y'all love for KQKC, man. All day, all day. Big Dose in the building, man. Big Dose is in the building. Salute to you all, man. Salute to you all, man. But let's talk about Big Charlo, man. Now, like I said, Chris Eubank Jr., we all know, I mean, that's a destruction waiting to happen. You know what I'm saying? A destruction waiting to happen. I mean, Chris Eubank, I can't think of anything that he can do. Anything that he can do to give Maul problems. I can't think of one thing. He can't out-jab him. He don't hit harder than him. I don't think so. What are you going to do? He going to headbutt him? Like he did George Groves? What is he going to do? Chris Eubank Jr. is going to get utterly destroyed by Jamal Charlo. Destroyed. Dre Finer says, I remember when boxers fought once a week, then once a month to every 3 months. Now they fight 1 to 2 times a year. What happened to my sport? You know how they're getting too much money, man. They're getting that money, them silk sheets. You know what I'm saying? It's harder to make it to training camp, bro. Ain't nobody forcing them to do that once they get that big money. But I don't see Chris Eubank Jr., man, having not one iota of a chance. Now, here's the thing. Let's say, and I heard Jamal Charlo speaking about this. Jamal says, you know what? I'm tired of playing these games. I don't have time to be worrying about no Golovkin and no Canelos. I'm done with this. You know, Demetrius Andre ran as far to the opposite end of the earth away from me that he possibly can run. He ran over there to this zone behind Eddie Hearn, re-signed his deal. Let's not forget that. Re-signed his deal. Happy to be making his little $1 million to be fighting nobody. He don't want to fight me. Screw all this. I heard Jamal Charlo saying that he is down to go to 168 pounds. Granted, fam, unfinished business at 160. I get it. But you look at the opportunity that's right in front of Jamal Charlo, and that is a vacant WBC belt. A vacant WBC belt. We all know David Benavidez lost his belt in his last fight. It's now vacant. Of course, whoever got to face Avni Yildirim, I think it is, for that particular belt. Yeah, Avni Yildirim. So why doesn't Maul go up as the WBC champion, petition the WBC to fight for that vacant belt and go snatch that belt? And then put himself in the middle of so much smoke. Caleb Plant, David Benavidez, Darrell, Who else you talking about? I mean, PBC got names. You can even get David Lemieux if you want. PBC got names up at 68. Could Maul go up, get that belt, and put himself right there around the smoke? Is that smart? Is that smart? P. Newell in the super chat. Much love to your fam. Bam. Much love. Main man. I like Chris versus Charlo. And I think that it will be I like Chris versus Charlo. And I think it will be a run for Charlo money. Chris. I like Chris versus Charlo. Who's Chris, fam? Chris. I like Chris versus Charlo. And I think it will be a run for his money. Oh, Chris Eubank Jr. My bad, bro. Chris Eubank Jr. Oh, okay. You like Chris versus Charlo? You think he'll give him a run for his money? My thing is, when that fight happens, fam, I don't think you're going to see a boxing match. I think you're going to see a fight. You know what I mean? There's a difference. You ain't going to see a boxing match between Charlo and Eubank. You're going to see a fight. You're going to see two dudes going in there and somebody's head going to end up in the first row. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think what we get from him. The one, like I said last night, the one great thing about the Chris Eubank Jr. fight is the fact the international exposure. You know what I mean? I'm sure that Chris Eubank, through his father, they got to have something. You know what I'm saying? They got to have something, some sort of name recognition. You know, I mean, his father is a former fighter, a legendary fighter, allegedly, whatever. He got some name recognition. And so the one good thing I think that comes from that is the fact that, you know, he get an international audience. On top of that, it's an exciting fight. None of us will be able to, here on YouTube, will be able to break that fight down without talking about somebody getting knocked the hell out. You know what I mean? I mean, facts. None of us will be able to talk about that fight without saying either Eubank or Charlo going down, which makes for a damn exciting fight. So I think it sells. I mean, the way I'm going to be spinning that fight is I'm expecting fireworks, firecrackers, cherry bombs, everything. That's how I'm selling that fight. That's how I'm talking about that fight. So, as far as from an excitement standpoint, I mean, I see where you come. But as far as him giving Charlo a run for his money, man, I see my man laying smack on his back, calling for his daddy. You know what I'm saying? That's what I see when it comes down to that, man. But as far as Big Charlo, man, I just think, bro, I would love, because I'm tired of seeing them screw him over down at 160. You know, get the Eubank Jr. fight out the way. But if you don't get no restitution after Eubank, there's nowhere left for Jamal to go. There's nowhere left. You know, Daniel Jacobs made all that noise just to run up and wait and get away from Charlo. You know what I'm saying? What did he say? I pulled up at just the right time. You know what I mean? Okay. What happened to Daniel Jacobs? He rounds up to 168. After Chris Eubank Jr., I don't know where Charlo goes. I don't see nowhere near enough names on the PBC side at the 160 division that would do anything for Jamal Charlo. I mean, we got nobody. Golovkin, Andrade, Daryevchenko, he just fought him. Murata's doing business with Top Rank. Zermeta, who? Eubanks, of course. Brandt is doing business with Top Rank. Sulecki, no thank you. And didn't Charlo already beat Sulecki? Bro, there's nothing left. There's nothing left other than Eubank. In that case, head on up to 68, fam. Head on up to 68. You say Maul versus Andrade? I'm telling you, I hope so, man. You know, remember how that situation also went, both sides tried to get each other lured on each other's network. Andrade wanted Charlo to come to DAZN. Charlo wanted Andrade to come to Showtime. Neither camp trusts either camp. Both camps think that there's going to be small print in the language of options and yada, yada, yada. I'm going to go back to this, and I'm going to say this and say it again. It's the same way like the Gary Russell Jr. situation with Jamal Charlo and Demetrius Andrade. The one thing that never gets spoken about, which I don't never understand why people conveniently just leave it out, is that the Matchroom USA fighters are obligated. It's in the contract between Eddie Hearn and DAZN. The Matchroom USA fighters are obligated to be shown on DAZN. Those dudes can't leave. Everybody not understand that. You notice you don't see none of those dudes going nowhere else. They don't leave. You know what I mean? They don't leave, man. You know what I'm saying? Damn it, man. My brother P New in the super chat again. Thank you, family, man. Thank you. Damn it, man. I have to show love again. You're right. Why is Jacobs not fighting Charlo? I have no idea, bro. All I know is the man pulled up like he wanted some smoke. And you know, we was all here. Oh, Daniel Jacobs pulled up on Charlo. He put the grown man pressure on him. I had cats from New York, man, G-check Charlo. Everybody going crazy. And I'm like, oh, okay. I'm even on here like, oh, snap. Hey, yo, Daniel Jacobs did some straight up G and then ran for the hills. And people told me back then, they say, man, hold on. You know, because you tend to got this thing of getting too excited. Listen to what Daniel Jacobs is saying. I'm making M's. Which means I'm running. I'm not fighting you because I'm better fighting, making money over here with the zone and fighting whoever. I'm making M's. And so what is he doing? He made his M's at 160, run up to 168, and now looking for more M's. But the one person he ain't looking for is Charlo. You know what I mean? It's sad. It's really sad, man. And he's a dude that actually got a relationship with Al Heyman. You did. Like, come on, man. We know what this is about, man. Oh, sorry about that, KQ. I didn't see that, fam. Oh, let me roll back. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, KQKC, man. Look, man, you always keep it real like a real brother. You already know, KQ. Hey, one thing I can say, man. Look, man. That's all we all are, man. We just real people, everyday people, you know what I'm saying, that just love the sport of boxing and love to keep it 100, you know what I mean? But KQ, man, I really, really thank you, bro, and I am a humongous fan of your channel, bro. I watch you every day. It's just at the time of day that you come on now is that I'm usually kind of shaking and moving, but I always catch that playback, and I try to always leave something in the comment to let you know I've been there, you know what I'm saying? Much love to KQKC, and for those who have not checked out KQKC, you're missing out. You're wrong. Real live boxing mind right there. Go check him out, man. That's my main man. And that's fam. All day. Much love to KQKC, man. For real. Yeah, man. Yeah, Jamal is a bigger star than Andre, says Marquise. Absolutely. Especially after last night. Big Doe says, yo, Boo Boo already had a fight set up with Jamal, but messed the money up because Jay-Z tried to sign him. And Jay-Z got sued for that, but the fight was already messed up and the networks was mad about that. Exactly. Demetrius, it was actually Jamil. He was already engaged into a fight. It was already done. They was supposed to go. Rock Nation comes along and they like, hey, Demetrius Andre, we got a better deal for you over here with HBO. How about you come on, pull out of that fight and we'll get you another fight. We'll pay you what you lost in that fight. And on top of that, set you up with a bunch of easy fights for some good money. And that's exactly what Demetrius Andre did. And until he got over there, and he didn't get paid from Rock Nation. And then next thing you know, he's trying to sue Rock Nation, messed up the whole bag. But that's my point to people. That's why it's hard to trust Andre. We've seen him do this before. We've seen Demetrius Andre be the loudest voice in the world for calling Gennady. They should have cut Demetrius Andre the side check. They said, bro, you recruited Gennady Golovkin. The reason that we got Gennady Golovkin is because of you. Man, Demetrius Andre was on every interview. Bro, you can go back to that time. He was everywhere. Golovkin was good. Why don't you come on over here? I mean, he brought Golovkin over there. Golovkin get there, we get no fight. Who am I believing here? You know what I'm saying? Who am I believing? Lone Swim's in the building, my brother. What's up, fam? What's up with you, man? Salute to the whole fam, man. Much love to you, man. Much love to you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, what it do? What's up? You can't play boxing in the building. What's up, man? Yes, sir. Salute to everybody, man. I just, but back to Jamal Charlo. In Jamal's case, like I said, I would love to see a 68 move. If he doesn't want to do that, why ain't nobody even mentioning Jaime Munguia for Jamal Charlo? That's not even being mentioned. You know what I'm saying? But realistically, we're talking Chris Eubank Jr. next for Jamal Charlo. If he doesn't do that, I want to see him leave the class. And that's just where I'm at with Jamal Charlo. Because these dudes, they playing games with him, man. They playing games. And if they not going to fight him, I want to see him just go up to 68, get involved with David Benavidez. He's already been talking trash back and forth with these dudes up there anyway. I think Jamal just ready to go. Only reason he's not going it's because he's trying to move in unison with his brother. But at the end of the day, I think Jamal will go up to 68. Rock Nation did him really dirty. Yeah, Rock Nation did him dirty. But, I mean, if he'd have just, Andre just one of those to the highest bidder type dudes. And if he'd have just stayed true to the people that had, because, he had abandoned his promoters that had got him up to that point. We can sit back and say Rock Nation did Andre dirty, but Andre also did his people dirty too. I think that was DeGuardi in them, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he did them dirty too. He just left them high and dry. Andre left he left Charlo high and dry. He left his promoters high and dry. He just skipped town. He just skipped town. Everybody like, damn, the fight about to start. Like, anybody seen Andre? You know what I'm saying? Anybody seen Demetrius? Everybody at the weigh-in like, damn, anybody seen Demetrius? They say he took a new offer over at HBO. Like, damn. Demetrius curried everybody. So he got what he got, man. He got what he got. You know what I mean? He got what he got. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Lala gonna always keep me on my toes, man. She do. She's an Andre fan. And, I like Andre. I guess I'm going to talk like the Bud detractors for a second. I just want to see him fight somebody. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is, man. I just want to see Andre fight somebody. You know what I mean? And that's it, and that's all, man. Much love to y'all, though, man. Yeah, love the info. Oh, you already know P. Newell. You know how we do over here. But for those who didn't hear me last night, just know that I have now tremendous respect for these Charlos. These boys have taken Mainman Mademan's respect. Y'all already know how I used to stomp the yard for Jer Hurd, how I used to call Jamil Charlo B-side Charlo, Jamil B-side Charlo. But today he is the king. He is the king. He is the king, and I respect him as such. He took everyone's respect. No one can say nothing about these Charlos, bruh. Yeah, I hear y'all, man. Look, man, y'all keep, man, with Andre, like I say, bro, he's just not trustworthy for me, man. He just not trustworthy. It's always everybody's problem except Andre. You know what, though? Look, man, Jaime Munguia is rated #1 in the WBO. There's no reason that we should not get Jaime Munguia versus Demetrius Andre. No reason. They on both sides of the street. That Demetrius Andre needs to be on every interview saying, I want the Jaime Munguia fight. That's what we need to see. Every interview, Demetrius Andre should be saying, I want to face Jaime Munguia. If not, it's a realistic fight. The man, Jaime Munguia, is 35-0 and closing in on that WBO belt. Why ain't Demetrius Andre stomping the yard for that fight right now? He ain't doing it. He's still talking about Billy Slow Saunders. He's still talking about them dudes and fights that ain't gonna happen. See, I'll be saying about Demetrius, man. You know what I'm saying? Boo-boo #2 pound for pound. You got jokes. You got jokes. Do you think that Golden Boy will allow Texera versus Jamil for a unification at 154? No, I don't. I don't see it happening. I don't think they. I don't see it. I don't think think they'll believe that Texera will win. I think they'll be more than happy to put Texera on route with this fight that he got with Castano, and maybe even try to pull over a Tim Tszyu. I think they'll like to go down a route like that for Texera, preferably. And you see, at first they were down for Texera versus Terrence Crawford. They were down for that fight, but I don't think they will be willing to put him in there with Charlo, because they'll lose it. He'll lose that belt. They won't have nothing. So what I would think that they would do with their one remaining piece, they will try to lure, say, a Tim Tszyu. And like I told y'all before, Tim Tszyu he's got to be like right there underneath, if I'm not mistaken. Tim Tszyu is #2. Brian Castellano is #1. Tim Tszyu is in the #2 spot. And the reason I keep going back to Tim Tszyu, and I know people saying, well, who is Tim Tszyu? He's Costa Tszyu's boy, and he has a country behind him. That makes him an appealing opponent. You know what I mean? So Tim Tszyu is the guy that's recently beat Jeff Horn, for those who don't know. And he's not a big deal to us, but in the grand scheme of things in boxing, they're looking at him as a man with a country. And I think that Golden Boy would try to maneuver into something like that before they do Charlo. You know what I mean? Real spill. Tex-Mex versus Bud. Then see if Twin crossed the street. I love this, man. I was hoping that Bud did that, man. I was hoping that Bud did it. Bud should have went up to 54 and fought Texera, man. That would have been that would have been crazy, man. But I mean, I'm okay with the Brook fight. I'm okay with the Brook fight. I'm okay with it. You know what I'm saying? I think this fight is a real. Anybody who's hating on this fight is sleeping on that fight. That fight is going to be something, man. It's an unpredictable situation. Kell Brook is on his last hurrah. This can be the last hurrah for Kell Brook. This can be it. I'm expecting a starving version of Kell Brook. Yeah, I get it, the weight cut, but he's had almost a year to make this weight. Yo, I'm telling y'all straight like this, man. Like, I think this is going to be a hell of a fight, man. This is going to be a hell of a fight. And on top of that, man, like, Canelo, how can he show his face around here knowing he's avoiding Jamal Charlo the way he's doing? Come on. I mean, how can he show his face around here, man? How can you do that, man? You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. Hey, yo, thumbs up for the family, man. Thumbs up for the family, man. Hit me up. Thumbs up for me, man. And they keep on playing. They're going to end up letting my man Sergio Martinez move in there on one of them titles. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. But like I said, for Jamal Charlo, we're going to get Eubanks. He's going to 68, hopefully. And that'll be the road that I want to see him go down, man. So I hope that these Charlos continue to stay in the avenue that they stand. Because they keep on doing what they're doing, they're going to take over the sport. They're going to take over the sport of boxing. They keep on doing what they're doing, they're going to take over the sport of boxing. Fam. I got Bud, says La La D. All day. Glitch Realm says Canelo is hurting his legacy. Yes, he's hurting his legacy. People are not going to forget about the fact that he got out of the way of Charlo. And people are not going to forget the fact that he got protected by a sanctioning body. These things all hurt Canelo Alvarez's pound-for-pound chances for me. This is why I could never see me putting Canelo Alvarez as number one. Aside from the catch weights and the clenbuterol rules, he's not fighting like guys that we want to see him fight. Like, and these are very possible fights. Anybody will fight Canelo Alvarez. How can anybody have Canelo as number one pound for pound? I will never understand that. Canelo has gotten stuff for him that no other fighter's ever had. Most importantly, he ain't even fighting Jamal Charlo. I mean, a certified champion. Bro, it's no way. How could y'all even put Canelo? When I hear people say Canelo is number one pound for pound, man, I just be like, what? How do y'all say this? He beat Arisandy Lord at a catch weight. He beat Miguel Cotto, a 154 pounder, for the 160 pound belt. He fought a 154 pounder at a catch weight for the 160 pound belt. These type of hookups ain't never been given. But y'all be putting this dude as number one pound for pound. Like, Crawford never got that. Earl never got that. The Monster never got that. Nobody ain't never got that but Canelo. But he's number one pound for pound. Come on, man. Y'all be killing me, man. Y'all be killing me. Kell Brook, are you ready? Are you hungry? I got these chocolate brownies. Yeah, man. Hey, Kell Brook gonna come through his joint, man. I'm not sleeping on Brook, man. I'm not sleeping. Y'all know I ride with Bud all day. But I ain't sleeping on Brook. I ain't sleeping on Brook at all, man. I know Kell Brook has still got something left in that tank. Don't know how much. Maybe only 5 rounds worth. Maybe only 6 rounds worth. But he got something in that tank. You know what I mean? He got something in that tank. You think Laura won, La? I do too. Laura should have pulled that one out. That's when Laura was Laura. That's when Laura was Laura. Now, that Laura is the Laura I want to see fight Jamil. And that's why I push him so far down. Right now, Jamil will seriously hurt Erslandy Law. I believe that Jamal Charlo would seriously hurt Erslandy Law. And I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. Canelo is the catchweight king all day. And that's what I'm saying. That hurts his pound for pound arguments for me. Everybody's list is objective. Everybody's list, you build your own list based on whatever criteria most people you put together. I use the criteria that was always existed. You know what I'm saying? And by their criteria, Canelo don't add up, champ. He just don't add up. You know what I mean? And I got a lot of respect for Canelo. Don't misunderstand me. I think Canelo is a very, very good fighter. And I just want to see him do things like everybody else. Floyd was the cash cow. Floyd, TBE, Mr. TBE himself, he never got this many hookups. Floyd ain't never did no hookups like this. You know what I mean? So, I mean, come on, y'all. Come on. Which is protecting Clinton. They all protect. It's a protection plan. Straight, everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. I mean, and you know what? I wish Jamal Charlo would have just became just for last night. Stood right there and just say, Canelo, you a coward. I'm right here. I mean, right there in the middle of the ring. Put Canelo ass on blast. You know, salute to Aristotle Lord. Look what it took Lord to do to get that Canelo fight. Lord had to splash in on Canelo's press conference, walk up to the podium like, I want this fight. Remember, Canelo wasn't too happy about that. Canelo was like, this is not how you get a fight, and it's disrespectful, and blah, 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 blah. Aristotle Lord walked up in that joint like, I want this fight, and stepped right up in that press conference. Maybe Maul got to do something like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Maul got to do something like that. Real spill. I was thinking the same thing about Lomachenko, man. Do you think Loma was at a disadvantage in the Orlando fight because Orlando came in bigger? I can't say that. I mean, you know, games are played in the sport of boxing. That could have played a part in it. I don't deny that. I mean, Orlando Salido was super dirty in that fight, much bigger than Lomachenko, without a doubt. And I definitely think that helped played a part in Orlando Salido beating Lomachenko. But those type of things you just got to be ready for. And you got to expect going into a fight. You know what I mean? I mean, it's just like with Gary Russell Jr. and Vasil Lomachenko. How Gary Russell Jr. says after the fact that, you know, someone was playing with the scales and he was dehydrated. He had to dehydrate himself for that fight because the scales was reading one thing, and then he went up to the scales in his hotel room and they was saying a whole nother thing. It sounds, you know, after the fight, it's like, you know, these type of things are all part of the fight game. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing really straight up. Most of these fighters don't fight at the contracted weight. They're coming in on fight night well above their weight. Everyone knows that. I mean, you're going into a foreign country to fight a champion. You know not to drink the water. You know what I'm saying? You know not to eat the food. You know what I'm saying? It's like those type of things. It's just the sport that we love. You know what I mean? Unfortunately. In my opinion, I could be wrong, but I think that Brook would be a tough fight for Bud. I think that Brook is going to be tough for 6 to 7 rounds. I do. And I just think that anything can happen in those 6 to 7 rounds. You know, we all know that Terrence Crawford is a looping puncher. Kell Brook is a straight puncher. We all know that Kell Brook has a very, very good chin. Technically, everyone got to remember, Gennady Golovkin never knocked out Kell Brook. Kell Brook aside through the toweling. He didn't stop Kell Brook. Remember, Earl Spence Jr., technically, he stopped Kell Brook, but he didn't stop Kell Brook. Kell Brook took the knee. Willfully took a knee on his own because his eye was messed all up. Kell Brook, as far as hitting him on the chin and knocking him out, that ain't been done. You know what I'm saying? That ain't really been done. And the one thing about Bud is, even when he was in some, you know, tough fights, say like with Benavidez or anyone else, I mean, he didn't leave it up to the judges. You know what I mean? So if those cards could have been a lot closer, especially like in the Benavidez's fight, but he didn't leave it up to the judges. I don't think it's going to come down to that with Kell. If Bud stops Kell Brook, that's a major statement. That's a major statement. And I don't see Kell Brook coming in there to lay down. I don't see him being easy to stop. Bud may be on a 7-fight KO streak, but if he KOs Kell Brook, yo, everybody from every corner of the boxing streets needs to be given nothing but applause to Terrence Crawford. Now remember, because I remember how this went with Amir Khan. When Amir Khan fought Terrence Crawford, the talk was Amir Khan was undefeated at welterweight. No one at welterweight has ever beat Amir Khan, man. That's what everyone told me. So yeah, it should be, you know, noteworthy or pointed out that nobody has beaten Amir Khan at welterweight. So of course Bud should get credit. Bud does what he does to Khan. No one gives him credit. Oh, it was Amir Khan. If you scream too loud, he gets knocked out. If you burp too loud, he gets knocked out. If a snowflake falls too hard from the sky and falls on his chin, he gets knocked out. Who was Amir Khan? You get it? So in Kell Brook's case, and this is why I did the video of will they get credit? And I seen from the consensus of most of y'all that watched the video that you guys are willing to give credit to Terrence Crawford for Kell Brook. Remember, Kell Brook has never been stopped. Because I got to put this out there before the fight. He's never been stopped. If Bud stops Kell Brook, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nobody talk about the eye. I don't want to hear nobody to nothing. If Kell Brook stops Bud, I don't want to hear nothing. Both men deserve full credit for this fight. And mainly, if Bud beats Kell Brook, full credit. If he stops Kell Brook, he remains number one pound for pound. That's where we at. That's where we at. That's where we at. Why would Bud not take Porter over Kell? He don't want to fight no PBC Showtime fighters. Marquise, why would you say that to me, Marquise? Why would you say that to me? Why doesn't he want to fight? Roses are red, violets are blue. I love Bud and he loves me too. That version of Sean Porter, the version of Sean Porter that every time you ask him about over the last 4 years, when you ask him about Bud, it's, I never thought about that fight. I never really crossed my mind. I just, I have to have a conversation with him. And then after I have a conversation, I got to go back and meditate on it and make sure it's all right. Then I got to look at my schedule and make sure. So there's a lot of things at play here. I've been hearing answers like that from Sean Porter for about 3 to 4 years. So now that Kenny Porter comes out, not Sean, not the fighter, but Kenny, the father, who's not in the ring, who's not fighting. Sean is the fighter, but Kenny comes out and says, we want that fight. But he says this right around the time that Bud is negotiating the fight and is about to finalize the fight. But y'all believe that Sean wants to fight. Now, here's the deal, Marquise. And I'm going to say this to you like I say to everyone. If Sean Porter wants this fight, all Sean Porter got to do is turn into the Hulk Hogan character that he turned into when he called out Danny Garcia. He is number one in the WBO. He's number one. All he got to do is do nothing. All he got to do is stay right there. He ain't got to fight nobody or nothing. If he want to fight Bud, all he got to do is do nothing and wait to be called as the mandatory. Bud fought Aegis Kalvaluskis last November, which means that the WBO mandatory should be getting called real soon. So all Sean Porter got to do is sit back and figure out which suit that he is going to wear to the Terrence Bud Crawford fight once the mandatory gets announced. Now, if he removes himself, now if he says, you know what, yeah, I'm number one in the WBO, but I didn't ask to be put here. Who put me here? Who told them to do this? Hey, Pops, did you call the WBO and tell them to put me right there? I know that's what you did, didn't you? If he removes himself and he says, I'm going here or wherever, we're going to know who wanted that fight and who really didn't want that fight. So time will tell, Marquise. We will see. Now, as far as the other PBC fighters, well, I don't think we got enough time tonight to explain those stories, but the other PBC fighters, aside from Earl Spence Jr., well, don't make me laugh. You know what I'm saying? Don't make me laugh. What about that that body shot, that split banana? I didn't talk nearly enough about that last night, man. Salute to Jamel Charlo with that devastating jab to the body that poked the wind up out of Rosario. Had my man going into convulsions down that joint. Looked like my man was getting some good or something, man. Like he had a chick on top of him just giving him some good, and he just was loving it. He just was on the ground like, all from just getting the wind knocked out of you, Slim. They say he's left the hospital. For anyone who hasn't seen the reports, they say that he left the hospital and he's in good health. He's already left messages on social media saying that, he's okay. And, he just basically got his ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? Simple, but what a devastating shot, bro. What a devastating shot. All day. Adrian, the problem, Bronny in the building. What's up, fam? Kell is a live dog. I expect a safe fighting style by Bud. A boring UD win for Bud. I can see that too. I see Bud being Jamel Charlo of last night. I see that version of Bud. But the great thing about Bud is that he has so many tools that you don't know what you're going to do. Whatever adjustment that I feel like he has to make, he will make it. Don't know what that adjustment may be. Only Bud will figure that out in the first 2 to 3 rounds. But whatever adjustments that needs to be made, I think Bud can do it. Now, I think it's going to require Bud to hit. He's going to have to hit Kell Brook downstairs, man. Can't be headhunting Bud in this fight. Knock some win out of Kell Brook. Let that weight cut. See how that weight cut is affecting him. You know what I mean? You got to test him and push him to that point. See, the thing about Earl, the reason why Kell Brook started to really, fatigue himself in the second half of that fight, aside from getting, smacked up with so many body shots. The fact is that in them first 5 to 6 rounds, Earl made Kell work. Kell had to stay on his toes because every time he would push Earl back, Earl coming right back. Every time he get him up off him, put that jab on him. He was doing that pull count on him. Back Earl up against the ropes. Earl right back on him. Relentlessly. Relentless. And Kell just couldn't keep that pace going. My thing is, if Bud boxes too slow and let Kell Brook reserve himself to go down the stretch, that might be something. I mean, everybody knows Bud downloads and processes, man. He downloads and he processes. He's going to know you. That gives Kell Brook about 3 rounds to not have to really put an over amount or have to deal with a lot of workload. That wouldn't be good for Bud going down the stretch. I don't think you want a strong Brook going down the stretch. You want to take as much out of Brook as you can for the second half of that fight. You want to make Brook work. Even if you got to make him chase you. You got to make him move. You got to make him feint. You got to make him work. You cannot. I think it will not be a good look for Bud to have a strong Kell Brook in those championship rounds. That ain't going to be good. And like I told y'all, man, I believe that Kell Brook has a rock iron chin. He ain't never been put to sleep. And even the times that he's lost by so-called stoppages, those have been stoppages that he initiated. So he's never really been put down. You know what I'm saying? Harold Trim says, you've rewriting history. Brook quit. Okay, Brook quit. If you want to just say it like that, Brook quit. You know what I'm saying? He quit. Sure, he quit. But he still wasn't laid out. Like he didn't eat a right hand and went to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like he's never been in that situation before. You want to say he quit? Fine, he quit. He took a knee in front of his own people. You know what I'm saying? But he still didn't go down from a punch. And we still have not seen nobody. And we all know Crawford is on a 7-fight knockout streak. He's been knocking out welterweights. Well, with a guy like Brook, it ain't going to be easy for him to knock him out. You know what I'm saying? Baladi says, true, even though I thought that Khan would win the early rounds, Bud destroyed that man. Exactly. And that's the thing that, people tend to forget after the fight because Khan was undefeated at welterweight, man. Big dose. It was the way that he stopped Khan with the hit to the leg, although Bud was fucking Khan up before that, though. All day. I mean, I don't think he did that intentionally. You know what I mean? That's just one of those things where Khan just was looking for a way out. And we all know that. You know what I mean? Just like AJ was looking for a way out of that fight, that Ruiz fight, Khan was looking for a way out. I think this is a great fight. And if Bud stopped Brook, he gets all the credit from me. Salute, Big Dose. That's the way to go. And I just hope people remember that. And every time I see people, especially the homies, any of the fam, when I see y'all make videos, and if I see one of y'all say, well, this is a great fight, and Bud deserves full credit, I will be in your comment section talking about some, remember you said that. I just got to do that, fam. I will be in y'all comment section talking about some, remember this video. Because after Bud fights, we tend to get amnesia. Oh, it was Kell Brook. He had 2 broken eyes. He had to come down in weight. Bop, 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 bop. Let's just give some credit. You know what I'm saying? Stormy B-Man says, yo, Bud has a different disposition than the average fighter of today. Along with his skills, his fighter temperament is on a different level. He moved like a G. All G's move in silence like lasagna, right? He moved like a G. And I've always said that one thing about Bud, and people thought I was being funny when I was saying it. It's not. People was feeling some kind of way because Bud don't talk to you and he don't do this and he don't do that. I always try to remind people that the man has been shot in the head, man. You know what I mean? He been shot in the head, Slim. And like I said, I don't know how y'all move out there or whatever, but if you've been shot in the head, you become warrior people. You know what I mean? Especially cats you don't know. Especially cats you feel a little uneasy with. You still been shot in the head. Yeah, you may be around some loved ones or whatever like that. I got homies who've been shot and they'll tell you in a minute. Certain people, certain places, certain spaces, they just don't feel comfortable. And it's because of their experiences. You know what I'm saying? So people got to remember that. He moved like he moved for a reason. You know what I mean? Sean, I love you, Porter. Yeah, that dude. That I love you, dude. I love Bud. I couldn't believe when I had to do that video that day, champ. When he was sitting here, you know, I just love Bud, man. You know, that's why I always ask people, why do y'all want to see them fight for real? Like, why do you want to see Shawn Porter and Terrence Crawford fight when they love each other? You know what I mean? They're trying to tell you without telling you. Like, stop trying to force us together. But the fans are, oh, you know, why doesn't Bud fight Shawn and Shawn? Then you go to Shawn. Shawn, what's up with Bud? Well, you know, which Bud you talking about? You talking about Bud Crawford or Bud Johnson? Because I know another dude named Bud Johnson. You know, me and Bud Johnson go way back. We went to school together back in the day. Yeah, we used to date this guy. No, Bud Crawford. Oh, Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford. You know, I haven't really thought much about that fight. I got a lot of things on my plate right now. Maybe I'll think about it at a later date. That's Shawn Porter. But y'all want to see that fight so bad. Danny Garcia, huh? Him and Bud got history from the amateurs. Danny Garcia was rated #1 in the WBO for how long? Yet never mentioned Bud's name? But funny, Bud don't want to fight no PBC fighters. Big Doe say, stop it, man. Kenny, his father and trainer said that they want to fight. Oh, because Kenny said it. Okay, so that's why y'all be thinking that Shawn Porter want to fight, because Kenny said it. We all know when Kenny said it got to mean that they want this fight. So if that is the case, Big Dose, why is it that when they lost to Earl Spence Jr., they got on the first thing smoking to the WBC convention? Why did they do that? Instead of saying, let me call up Paco with the WBO, they decide to fly to the WBC convention, talk to Mauricio and say, Mauricio, we go way back like backseats and Cadillacs. Look here, man. Make sure we get a good ranking. How much you need in your cash app? You know what I'm saying? Come on. But he want Bud, though. Why he go to the WBC convention? Riddle me that. You know what I'm saying? Riddle me that. So, man, you just made the case for Mel having all of the power. Why is it when Bud had all the power, he didn't move up to fight Earl or Keith? He went for Jeff Horn. But we act like it didn't happen. He moved up and fought the champion. And there's no welterweight at the class that has a better win than Jeff Horn. Facts. Not to mention, after he beat Jeff Horn, he stood right there at the fight, post-fight interview, and called out Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he went after a champion. I don't care which champ. That was his first fight at 147. And he went after the champion that had the best win at 147. I can't knock that. I can't knock that, Mo. And especially somebody that went up in 2 weight classes and fighting at a higher weight class. I can't knock that. Now, when he called out Keith Thurman didn't answer the call. Why didn't he answer the call? Riddle me that. Angel Garcia can say that Terrence Crawford is a nappy head and all this other jet, but he won't answer the call. I don't get that. You know what I mean? That's why I get lost there, man. That's why I get lost there, Big Dose. You know what I'm saying? Man, Kenny said that they are not accepting peanuts for the Bud fight. Of course they're not. I'm not expecting for them to accept peanuts. I am expecting for Kenny Porter and Shawn Porter to ask for their net worth. That's exactly what I'm expecting. I am expecting them to ask for all of the money that they have ever touched in their whole entire life. They want that in a Bud fight. We seen Keith do it. We see everybody else do it. Why wouldn't they do it? You know what I'm saying? Of course they want their net worth. And that is the main reason that Kenny's even asking for the fight. Bud got to fight. Bud got to fight. So expect for a lot more people to call out Bud. They always call out Bud when he has a fight. So Bud has a fight. He's been working on a fight. And now all of a sudden they're speaking on Bud's name. Clout chasing, clout chasing, clout chasing. Shawn looked into the camera on Fox and says, I have something to tell you, Bud. I love you, brother. Exactly. He stopped everything he was doing. You know what? Everybody stop everything you're doing in the arena. Stop the fight for a minute. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. All right, just give me 1 minute. I just got something to say. Bud, I love you, man. And to fight you, it's hard to fight you because I love you so much. I mean, you can't make this up, bro. You can't make this up. You can't make this up, man. Yo, man. Adrian the Problem Broner says pound for pound. Bud, Loma, Jamel, A-side, Charlo. I like that, fam. A-side. I'm down for Bud, down for Loma, Jamel. This has got to be a question I don't think I sat down and thought about, bro. I'm well on board with moving Jamel into the top 10. Do we move him into the top 5? Who we move out? Can we put Jamel above Canelo Alvarez? I'm sorry, fam. Can we put Jamel in? Would I be wrong to put Jamel above Canelo Alvarez? I don't know. I just catch weight thing. Am I wrong for that? Can I put Jamel in the top 5? Wow. Monster has moved up. Bud has moved up. Loma has moved up. Those are givens. Something I got to think about, bro. I got to really think about that. Canelo, I don't know. I tell you what, if Jamel ain't top 5, he's 6 or 7. He right there. And that's something I got to really think about. He might be top 5, bro. He may just be top 5. I ain't even think about it. You know what I'm saying? Big Tony in the building. What's up, family? What's up with you, man? What's up with you? Marquis says, I believe Crawford could break him down. Yeah, I think he's going to break Brook down in later rounds. I'm expecting for such to happen. But if he takes it too slow, too early, you're getting 5 rounds in, and you and Kell Brook is just doing a boxing match, guess what, fam bam? You're going to have problems going down the stretch. Not good. Not good at all. Not good. Not good at all. Thumbs up for the fam, yo. Thumbs up for the fam, man. Rosario tried to walk Jamel down like Jason Voorhees. Exactly. And you know what? We may have got a sneak peek on how Jamel would have fought Jarrett Hurd. Because we know that Jarrett Hurd fights in that same style. Straight up and down, was coming forward, taking a licking and keep on ticking. You know what I'm saying? We got a sneak peek on exactly how Jamel Charlo would have fought Jarrett Hurd. You know what I'm saying? Real spill. So, you're right. You're right. Nah, man. He quit before he could get that stop. That's a TKO. Call it whatever you want. He quit. He took a knee. Anything you want. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, man, I got to get ready to shut this down, fam. I got to get up out of here, man. Much love to the fam. A couple more and I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Earl made Brook bow down. Oh, look, hey, okay. There, it's done. Y'all just sold it. The next rewatch. We're going to be, the rewatch series. Y'all see the other day, we did Danny Garcia versus Mauricio Herrera. We covered that fight. We watched that entire fight. We're going to be doing a lot more rewatches. I'm going to be rewatching all controversial fights. In that particular fight that Danny Garcia, Mauricio Herrera, it's always been told that Mauricio Herrera should have got the W. Well, we went through each and every round, rescored it, we showed the fight, everything, the whole 9. So we're going to be doing the rewatch series more. The next one, since y'all want to talk that talk, the next one, we need to be doing Earl versus Brook. I was trying to save that one for Monty because I know Monty was saying that he wants to come on and he wants to do that fight. He wants to do Earl versus Brook and he wants to do Earl versus Porter because I thought I had Porter winning that fight. So I would like to have probably Monty on to do that one. But as far as the actual rewatch, we're going to rewatch these fights because I don't know what y'all be seeing out there. I need to know what y'all be seeing, man. Y'all like Brook took that knee. I told everybody after the first 6 rounds, I had Brook up 4-2. 4-2. Brook started to lose that fight when the eye went. You know what I'm saying? I just thought if the eye wouldn't have went, that maybe that he could have pulled it out. Now, Spence Nation tell me, man, Earl was up after the 6th. After the 7th, Earl was up. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back through that fight. We're going to do that one. We're going to do Ward versus Kovalev 1. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do that. We're going to go back and do Fury versus Wilder 1. We're going to do all controversial fights. Fights that they say that ended, that could have went either way or some people may have got it wrong. We're going to redo those rewatches. So be on the lookout for the rewatch series. I'm going to do a full playlist, just like we do for We Talking Boxing. I'm going to do a full playlist of all rewatch fights. I would love to do it live with y'all, but unfortunately, until I can figure out a way around the copyright situation, I got to do them in video form. So until I kind of figure that out, that we can actually sit here live, unless I just say forget the monetization and we just do it live. I may just do that. You know what I'm saying? And when maybe we can sit and watch some fights live and we can break them down live and rewatch these close fights, man. You know what I'm saying? Much love to the fam. Much love to the fam. 10 million each, Porter and Bud fight. Hey, that's the way you get business done. I love to see that, but we all know Bob ain't doing it. We all know Bob ain't doing it. I got my brother Lewis Coleman in the building. What's up, fam? What's up, man? The fans only want Porter to knock off Crawford so he won't beat the dog out of Earl, the fake Spence. Oh, I see what you're saying. You want him to get him out the way. And you know what? Maybe Porter feel that way too. I never thought about that, Lewis. Maybe Porter feel that way. Maybe Porter feel like, you know what? I ain't doing Earl's job for him. No, let him do that. Then no, I'm not going to be the one that try to attempt to give my best boy his first loss. You know what I'm saying? So let Earl be the one to do it. No, I ain't doing it. Maybe that's Porter's point of view, but all the fans out here think that Porter really want to fight, all because Kenny up here. Yeah, we want to fight all of a sudden. Man, y'all believe that if you want, man. He could turn into the Macho Man against Danny Garcia. He could run up in the ring on Earl Spence Jr., but it takes Kenny to have to gin up before a fight with Terrence Crawford, though. Y'all killing me out here, fam. Y'all killing me, man. Come on, man. Come on. Marquis says, I can't take Thurman serious. He got a paper cut. He got a paper cut and not coming back this year. Thank you. At least you can admit that, Marquise. You ain't got to take him serious with a $10 million offer. None of us are. You know what I mean? General Long says Mel is number one. You know what? To the fam out there, yo, we're gonna do a pull-up session, man. I'm gonna need y'all to come up on here, man, and have to holler at me and let me know. Anybody who feel like they're gonna have to come holler at me and break and convince me. I would love to be convinced, especially over Bud and Loma. You know what I'm saying? But convince me. Convince me. We're going to do a pull-up session on probably the next live, man. I want to get some of the homies on here. You know what I'm saying? Stone Love, is the Crawford Brook fight on? I heard that nobody, ESPN, don't want to pay for that fight. I was going to cover that. Matter of fact, I am going to drop that tomorrow in the video. I've already kind of did the video already, so I don't want to give too much away on that. Yeah, we heard Bob Arum and recent interviews talk about that. Yeah, and he's having problems securing UK television. And this is why on the video that I just talked about with that, I was confused on why Eddie Hearn has been so standoffish about this fight. Like, Eddie Hearn has not been in front of cameras, you know, boasting this fight up. He's been kind of distant from Brook. You know what I'm saying? And I've been like, it's just not making no sense to me. So I hear Kell Brook say he's a free agent. I'm hearing that there's no UK TV deal. I'm hearing BT Sports might get involved. We just don't know. So I'll wrapped it all up in the video. Right now, from what I understand, that ESPN got the license for that fight. It's definitely going down on ESPN. Where it may be shown in the UK, well, just don't know. And I never knew that. So that means basically Kell Brook is not a Matchroom fighter no more. If he's not obligated to fight to be shown on Sky in the UK, he's on a fight-by-fight basis with Eddie Hearn too. So he's technically not he's an Eddie Hearn fighter, yeah, but I don't think he's locked into nothing with Eddie Hearn. You know what I'm saying? Man. But I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Yo. Everybody, much love to the fam, man. Thumbs up. Be on the lookout for the rewatch series. Be on the lookout for more We Talking Boxings. We do this on Sundays and Thursdays, man. Much love to the fam. We'll be back on the mic real soon. I appreciate all of the love out there. I appreciate all of the super chats, all of the donations, everybody that participates, everybody that holds Mainman Mademan down, man. Much love to each and every one of y'all. You know Mainman Mademan is in y'all corner 110%. Let's get the hell up out of here. It's getting late and everybody got to go to work in the morning, man. I'm going to get up out of here. Thumbs up on the way out. If you did not hit it on the way in, I will see y'all again next Thursday for We Talking Boxing. Be on the lookout for all of the vids that I will be dropping in the next couple days. Great weekend of fights, man. Great weekend of boxing, man. The best chat in the world. Much love to you all. And until the next one, man. Peace out.